Okay, so my name is LeAnna Lennon, and I am from South Carolina Dogs Therapy Group. So, a little bit of background in what we do. We provide therapy dogs or service dogs to people in need. We travel around South Carolina and Northeast Georgia, and we talk to people and let them play with the dogs and that kind of stuff to really open them up and bring emotional support to people that might need it at the time. So, we got started in 2000. I'm super passionate about dogs, so when I rescued a dog, I decided that I had to help them all. And then while training these dogs, I figured that we could help others in the process, other people in the process. So, that being said, we do really local work right now, but we really want to expand. So first, to figure out a little bit about you, I want to ask you a couple questions just to kind of gauge your needs and what you really want out of an experience right now, if you want any help or not. So the first is when people get a diagnosis and it's something that really changes their life, do their behaviors change? I mean, they obviously change a little bit, but are they typically depressed, agitated, or are some people positive? And what really happens in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you just see the person, you can just see it in their eyes. I mean, almost immediately when that diagnosis hits them, they just immediately go south, and you can see they just lose a little bit of hope and a little bit of spunk in their eyes. Like they're hopeful when they come in, and it just goes away. And there's a lot of depression that sets in, and just a lot of sad feelings and things that matter.
Okay, and so right now, do you guys have any systems in place to help these people cope with big diagnoses?
Really, not a whole lot. We rely on the nurses to try to cheer them up. I mean, that's not really their job. And also, we have a chaplain that really gets used sometimes. It's not a huge part of our job, and so it's there. It's just a resource, but it's
Okay.
that's it.
What concerns do you have for your emotionally vulnerable patients? Like, what kind of reactions do they have and kind of that worries you and that you look out for?
Well, obviously the biggest thing is them hurting themselves, but I mean, smaller things like them just really getting depressed and like I said, hurting themselves and just not working, not being compliant with the nurses, refusing care. That's a big problem. They just get really upset.
Yeah. Okay. And what issues kind of surround nurses? You mentioned nurses and their family members, that kind of the outside people.
Well, I mean, it's almost a reflection of the patients. They see that, and they have to give. They don't give the diagnosis, but they're on top of it, and they know what's happening. And when that diagnosis hit, they see those people go down, and it brings their morale down too, because they're having to see on a daily basis multiple patients that just really go south and can't really deal with the stress as well.
Okay. And how could these diagnoses impact future diagnoses? Does it make them kind of less hopeful for the future? You kind of mentioned that, or all right with the future and what's to come, ready to go.
I mean, they're definitely down. They're definitely like they're less hopeful, and they're more sitting there like, okay, I have this now. I'm sad. Like, how am I going to deal with this? It's not. It's more of a sad. How am I going to deal with this? Not a peppy like. Okay, what's next? It's oh, I have to deal with this. It's definitely a sadness.
Great. Well, not great, but so do you think that there's something that you could or that could be done to bring value to your hospital and to help these emotions and everything when patients get these diagnoses? Do you think that something could be done to help this?
I mean, definitely. I think we're definitely open to any kind of new ideas. Like we see this all the time. It's not a new thing, and I mean, we've tried a couple things that haven't been successful, but your idea, I mean, your idea with the dogs, that's something that I think would be phenomenal. I mean, that's my opinion, but I mean, it's just something that I think that could help.
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit more about our company and what we can bring to you.
Definitely.
So we have about 40 volunteers in the Anderson, Clemson, and Seneca area in Northeast Georgia area. We make about 30 visits every month. So we're really trying to expand, and we really want to bring our services to the Greenville area just because it's a lot bigger than those areas and can, provide service. What we would really want to focus on would be children's care areas, the elderly, mental health facilities, and rehabilitation centers, kind of places that we're not going to infect anybody, bringing in new people and dogs and that kind of stuff. So these patients will get to play with the dogs, give them treats, play games, we'll do tricks with the dogs, and a lot of times dogs can do really funny things. So it'll make them laugh and hopefully just build morale in every aspect, and to everybody, not even just the patients, but to the family members and the nurses that see a lot of things during the day. We just want to brighten people's spirits. And these dogs are trained and insured to be therapy dogs, so they're absolutely certified for all this. There have been studies done, just to kind of prove my point, there have been studies done that show that introducing a therapy dog to patients can do things like lower heart disease risks. It improves cardiovascular health actually, and also eases anxiety and stress, and it can provide some social support to people. If you're lonely, like an elderly person that doesn't really have somebody to visit them, if you're lonely, it really does provide support. And then for diseases like Asperger's or autism, a lot of times they're provided a service dog, but initially when you get that diagnosis or you're coming in for care, anything like that, having these dogs comfort you in times of need and sadness is really something great, and we think that can really benefit people and the dogs too, because they have fun with it as well. So what we're thinking of is it being totally free for patients, and then y'all's commitment would be $1,000 membership fee per year. What I was thinking about for that, well, what we want to do is, since we're kind of doing a trial run in the Greenville area, I was thinking that we would do 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So if we come in for the first year and you are not satisfied with any of this, or your patients are complaining, or this, that, and the other, whatever might come up, that we would give you your money back within the first year. That way it's kind of, we have the data that shows that this is really necessary, or not necessary, but impactful to the patients and their families and everybody surrounding it. So it really just, like I said, doesn't just help the patients, it helps everybody around. So we really feel that they would benefit. And we also know that you guys are very established in the area. Like I said, we kind of have a smaller area and region right now that we travel to, but we really want to expand that, take that elsewhere. So we think that the Greenville area would be great, and especially since you guys are so well known and established, that this could be something awesome for all of us involved. So with that being said, is this something that you would maybe want to consider, talk about, anything like that, and get back to us with?
You seem like you have a pretty solid plan. We're definitely, from my perspective, we're definitely on board. Like I said, anything to help. And you seem like you have a pretty solid plan and something that's going to be very effective. Again, I'm all in. I got a couple people that I got to check with, but I don't see that being a huge issue. But I'll get with them, and I'll get back to you on, we'll say Tuesday.
Great. I'll write some stuff up, and I'll hear from you Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you.